Good evening. Hello and welcome to the meeting of the Rotary E-Club of District 7710 for Tuesday, August the 7th. Thank you for joining us. We are so honored tonight to have our District 7710 Governor, Donna Peffley, and we will have our Area 7 Assistant Governor, Susan Ross, introducing Donna. Susan?
Thank you. One of the honors of being an assistant governor is to be able to introduce the governor and her official speeches to all the clubs in my area. So as the Durham person, I'm happy to have her here. We were with the Sunrise meeting a couple weeks ago, and the other two are coming up in the next month or so. Donna already mentioned that she's from Hickory. Her dad was not only the Belks guy, he was a Rotarian for over 56 years. So she grew up with Rotary, as did I, and I know some others of us have done that as well. Her dad's now a member of the Rotary Club of Wilmington. And Donna is a Carrie McGregor Rotary Club person. She joined in 2004 and served as club president in 2013-14. Then held the position of assistant governor after that. She's a graduate of Rotary Leadership Institute, Paul Harris Society, Polio Plus Society, Bequest Society, sustaining member, major donor. She set the bar high.
Wrap it up.
North Carolina native, UNC graduate. She is Vice President of Human Resources at Global Knowledge Training, LLC, where she's worked for 21 years. She's married to Chris, and they'll celebrate their 28th wedding anniversary in July. And Chris has a brass quintet. Some of us have already had the fun of hearing him, and this could be a good year for, if you like brass quintets, come to the Rotary events this year. He's going to have a hard time seeing his wife if he doesn't say yes.
All right.
Donna loves her family, 6 nieces, 2 nephews, and Rotary. And it's a pleasure to introduce Donna to the E-Club.
Thank you very much, Susan. Yeah, this is a real treat this evening to be able to talk with you from my home and in my kitchen, but still being with Rotarians. So thank you very much for having me this evening and making me feel welcome. So what I like to do when I'm visiting clubs, because I remember when I was a club member and the district governor would come visit, I would be like, who is this person? Why are they here? I see them and then they're gone. Didn't quite understand what it was that the district governor and what the district is all about. And I know a lot of you have been involved with Rotary for some time, but going to kind of test your memory a bit about Rotary and especially about our district. So I do have a handout, and we'll do a little sharing with that if I can. So I like to think about, okay, we have our clubs. So we have the E-Club, and how many Rotarians do we have in the E-Club currently? Does anybody know?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we don't have permission to talk, so.
It should be 20 members. We are getting ready to add one and
excellent.
Subtract one, so we still should be at 20.
Excellent. Okay, so the E-Club has 20 members in the club, and then as Susan referenced, she is our area or assistant governor. And so the E-Club is part of an area. And Susan, you are in the E-Club is in what area?
Area 7.
Okay, Area 7. And how many clubs are in Area 7?
I have 4 clubs that we work with, Southwest Durham, Sunrise Durham, Downtown Durham, and the E-Club.
Okay, so she interacts with those clubs and with the presidents so that she can take messages back from the district to those clubs. Since those clubs are somewhat located to one another, they can have opportunities where they might synergize, they might work on projects together, or they might just have an exchange of information so that they can be resources together. So there are actually 10 areas in our district, and in our district is 7710. Do you know how many clubs there are in District 7710? So there are 46 clubs. So there are 46 presidents like Rhonda, and they also have opportunities to go to training together, to learn from each other, and to network. So we have these 46 clubs in District 7710, and we have 1,900, and the number kind of waffles, but I've got the 1,973 Rotarians in our district. So that is a group of people that we can network with together. We can work on projects together. We can have fellowship together. So it's just a really, you start recognizing how big Rotary is when we just think about our district. But beyond our district, we actually have what are called zones. And there are 34 zones in the world, and we are in in zone 33. So zone 33 is kind of the Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, kind of hugging the East Coast there. So then outside of the zones, we go into Rotary International. And so there are, I think a lot of people have heard that there are 1.2 million Rotarians in the world. But do you have any idea as to how many clubs there might be in Rotary? So there are over 35,700 Rotary clubs in the U.S. I mean, not in the U.S., in the world, in over 200 countries. And so we have a massive footprint. There are 536 districts. So just like Rhonda is one of 46 presidents in District 7710 and one of over 35,000 in the world, I am one of 536 district governors. And I actually had the opportunity to go to San Diego for training earlier this year with 535 of my classmates from around the world, and that is truly amazing to be able to see those people and think about the projects that we do and the amazing difference that we make in the world and in our community. So that was an amazing experience, and we got to meet Barry Rasson, who is the Rotary International president. So just like Rhonda and myself, we serve a term of 1 year. Barry Rasson is our Rotary International president, and he has a Rotary theme each year. And perhaps you can fill in the blank yourself as to what is the Rotary theme. Hopefully you know that, and that is Be the Inspiration. And so Barry, being from the Bahamas, loves the ocean. And so in the logo, you can see the blue waves that makes a bit of a heart because Rotarians have huge hearts. And then it's the colors of the sunrise and the sunset. So that is our Rotary theme. Now, Rotary International has a vision, and it's up to the clubs as to what they really want to do. And if you saw in the little org chart up above, it's actually the Rotary members and the clubs that just get to decide what projects you want to work on, what fundraisers, what service projects, what you want the frequency of your meetings to be. But Rotary International does kind of set a foundation that we typically work within. And so we have the Rotary International vision, and I left some blanks there because those are some of the words that speak to me. So it's together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe in our, sorry, across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. So again, together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. And I know for me, when I joined Rotary, I thought that I was joining so that I could give back to the community and to the world. But what I actually found is I got so much more in return. I've developed long lasting friendships. I've been part of service projects that have made a difference. I have met remarkable people, and I'm very proud to be a Rotarian. It's also opened doors as far as public speaking, about getting over fear of perhaps being in different cultures. And so Rotary just opens a lot of doors, and it's just been a wonderful experience for me. And so I want us to share that with other people. So while we were in San Diego, oops, wrong way. Page down, Donna. Oops, I've gone that way, wrong way. Oops. Well, I'll stop sharing there for a minute. That Barry Rassin said in the training, if you want to build a better world, you have to awaken the souls of your Rotarians to their own ability and to their own potential and to the longing inside each and every one of us. And so isn't that so true that we, need to recognize that there is that longing inside of us so that we can then do more and better in the world. So what I have challenged the presidents like Rhonda and the other 45 presidents in our club is to set big, hairy, audacious goals. Maybe some of you may have heard of the book Built to Last. And that is a book that typically organizations reference so that they can have organizations last, the companies to last. How do they continue to grow and prosper? Well, it works the same way with Rotary, that we want Rotary to last as well. So we've got to set these big, hairy, audacious goals. We've got to stretch ourselves. We've got to get out of our comfort zone and try new things. And the E-Club is so amazing that you have definitely gone outside of the box and done something different by having a meeting online, where we're not having the typical meeting where there is a table assigned for people to sit at. You can join from anywhere. And so you are already doing something that is out of the box, but I'm encouraging you to set that bar even higher for this Rotary year, to do something beyond what we've done in the past. And I know with the Rotarians in the E-Club, you guys are already, your souls are already awakened. It's just that you've got to take that opportunity to do more. And I thank you for that. And one of the things is through membership, is to increase membership. And that is one of my big, hairy, audacious goals. And am I still sharing?
I'm sharing on your behalf.
Oh, thank you. Somehow I got off. Okay, thank you. So, oops, now I'm back. So one of the pledges that I have made regarding membership is that I've made a commitment. And my husband, being a lawyer, has said, Donna, you've got to put things in writing. You've got to sign your name. You've got to make sure that you've got all your T's and C's covered, because people will hold you to this. And so I've made this pledge for every new member that joins a club in District 7710 this Rotary year, who is an active and engaged Rotarian at the end of the Rotary year, that I will contribute $100 to the Rotary Foundation. Why am I doing that? Because I believe in membership and because I believe in the Rotary Foundation. So many of you probably already know that the Rotary Foundation ranks one of the highest in the charitable charity navigator. Thank you, Susan. That our money goes to the projects and to the causes. It's not going to salaries or to expensive dinners or airplanes or things like that. It's actually going to the projects. And with our donations that we make to the Rotary International Foundation, that money, half of that money comes back to our district that we can use for grants. Typically, our projects align with one of the 6 areas of focus. And so you'll see the little chart there, and hopefully you can recognize some of those pictures as far as what our projects typically align to with those 6 areas of focus. So do I have a volunteer who would like to tell us what those 6 areas of focus are? Anybody? Well, since David is driving, or
I can give it.
Richard is driving, we won't have him do it. But okay, who we got that? Rhonda?
It's Rhonda.
Yes,
And
go ahead.
We have peace, health, we have water, women and children, education, and the last one.
Economic development.
Thank you. Economic.
Yes, right. So thank you, Rhonda, for that. Many of you may have heard of these launch Raleigh. There's a launch Durham, I think. Matthew Kane has actually been a big part of these launches, but this is where we're helping entrepreneurs get kind of their feet on the ground. And so those are some of the things where we're doing helping economic development, where people are then able to set up businesses, to maybe get loans that they hadn't been able to in the past. But this also happens in other countries as well, where we help support them so that they can become independent financially to do that. But we are very blessed in that we have a peace center right here in our district. There is only one peace district in our section of the world, the north and southern hemisphere there at the Duke and Chapel Hill campuses. And so people from other parts of the world where there might not be peace will come and study peace and conflict resolution so that they can go back to their home countries to hopefully make things better. A lot of us know about polio, of course, with our health, and that was, one Rotarian that had that idea and that dream that we were going to eradicate polio. Now we're in that final race of the part of the marathon, which is really getting hard and tough, because there are only 3 countries now that have polio, and that is Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Nigeria. And do you know that we are actually going to have a group of people from our district to go to Pakistan to give the polio immunizations? I mean, we have brave, persistent people that truly want to make a difference in the world. And so I am just so proud of them that they are going to do that. And if anybody is interested in perhaps accompanying this group to Pakistan, we are going to have a breakout session at our next assembly, so you can come hear more information about that. But then we have the water, clean water. We do things with the Dominican Republic, maternal and health. And literacy, there's a lot of things with reading and read and feed and different dictionaries and things like that. So typically our projects align to those areas of focus. Another one that's not there, but we kind of try to fit it in, that's really becoming popular now, is our environment and the sustainability. We planted trees last year, and our district, I'm very proud, our district has lots of kudos, actually planted the most trees of any district in all of the world. I think it was over 50,000 trees that we planted. So that is truly remarkable. But Paul Harris, who was the founder of Rotary, he actually said in 1935 that this is a changing world. We must be prepared to change with it. The story of Rotary will have to be written again and again. And isn't that so true? I doubt very seriously that Paul Harris ever thought that there would be such a thing as an e-club. But now with technology and the internet and with phones and things like that, with medicine, with the ability to travel, you know, there are a lot more opportunities now. And Rotary is changing with that, and we have to change that. And so I again am encouraging our Rotarians to do things differently, try something new. There's a little exercise here that says to connect these 9 dots with 4 straight lines. Well, the hint of it is that you've got to work outside of the box. Now, someone told me, Donna, the box is actually old school now, that really you have to start with a clean sheet of paper. But the e-club is doing wonderful things. I don't think you need to start with a clean sheet of paper, but we do need to continue to try new things, to do things differently, to invite people to our clubs, to tell the road stories, to share them, because once people start hearing about what Rotarians do, the good that we do in the world, the fun that we have, they want to be a part of that. So we just need to ask them. So that's what I ask of you. Do something different. Tell the Rotary story. Invite people to the e-club. And if the e-club isn't a good fit for them, let them know that there are 45 other clubs in our district. So I'll take a pause right now and see if anybody has any questions about any information that I've covered so far. And then we're going to talk about a few of the upcoming things to put on your calendar. And Kathy has mentioned some of those, so I thank her for that. But any questions or anything at this point? Or anybody want to share anything?
This is our opportunity. If you had things that you wondered about the district or, about just Rotary, this is a great opportunity we have. Go ahead.
Donna, I actually have one question, and I should know the answer, so pardon my ignorance, but I'm going to ask it anyway since you're here. What is, okay, I know that polio has been one of the big, hairy, audacious goals for Rotary. What's the next in line? I've heard that there's been discussion about it, but I haven't heard about the results of that discussion.
At this particular point, I think that they are wanting to make sure that we complete the race with polio. So there isn't anything that has been set. I know a lot of people are pushing for CART, the Coins for Alzheimer's research. There's also the human trafficking. That has gotten a lot of chatter recently, and even at some of the international conferences, we've heard about human trafficking. But at this particular point, I don't know that anything has really been set, because again, I think that they don't want us to start moving too far, because we still have a lot of work to do with polio yet.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. Maybe you did see, I think it was announced that the new Rotary International president who will be following Barry Ryson has been named. Now he has to go through a period of time to get confirmed, but that will be somebody from India, which will be pretty exciting. Um, any other questions or comments?
Well, comment to that, we do have MG, a native of India. He is a resident of India. He's a member of the Rotary E Club. So it's really cool that our club is now becoming international,
Right.
well as it's in our district. And we have a lot of members within our district that are part of the E Club, but now we're becoming an international club. He also has sponsored another resident of India to become a member of our E Club, Dr. Prasad. So, yeah.
Yeah. And Rhonda and Eve did an amazing job at the international conference in Toronto and presenting to the group there. That's quite impressive, and thank you for doing that. And that was pretty special because I think you announced there that your club is international.
Yeah, yeah. And it was great. We had Susan and Donna there to support us. And it was like a love fest. No, so cool.
Told her I was going to
I
smile.
think you guys were the only governors in the house. So that was
Oh,
nice. Yeah, that was very special. Thank you.
very
Does
nice.
anyone else have any questions?
Donna, I was wondering, so are you going to go to Pakistan? Are you planning on it?
Well, you know, I haven't really done a broad type of a service project before, but if I were to do it, I feel very comfortable doing it with Rotarians. So that's again a gift about Rotary. So I am talking with Randy Leckie and Shafi Paret. Those are the two that are heading up this trip. And so I am seriously considering it. I currently work, and so I've been asking off a lot of time from work, and to make that trip is going to be time consuming. And then they also want me to go to the Dominican Republic, which would be in February, and Pakistan is in January. So it's a little early to tell yet. I have said that, you know, anybody else who is interested in going, if they get, there's a max of 10 people who will be able to go to Pakistan. That if 10 Rotarians sign up from District 7710, then I won't go. But if there's a slot available, I am seriously considering going.
Be amazing.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that Shafi talked about this a little bit last night at Donna's district council meeting, and he mentioned that it's a week-long trip that we would be whoever goes, and I'm not going to go either, but we'd be staying with Rotarians in homes just as a friendship exchange would, and that's a real opportunity for international friendships. I did an exchange with Durham, England. It's not like going to Pakistan, but it was still one of my favorite things I ever did in Rotary was that trip with the Durham, England Friendship Exchange.
And we're doing a friendship exchange with Croatia this year, or next Rotary year too.
Can you give us some background on what friendship exchanges? We have several new Rotarians that are new to Rotary.
Susan, would you like, since you've been on a friendship exchange, would you like to share with us, please?
I can tell you my own experience, but you know more about what's coming around the bend. They really are hosted by a Rotary club somewhere else, and a group of Rotarians flies over. You pay for your expenses to get there, and honestly, they just took care of us from that point on. I don't remember spending a penny after we landed in England, and we had a wonderful time. I took my mom, who was about 86 at the time, maybe 85. She and I were traveling buddies. We had a great time. It was fun. Yeah. There were 9 of us from our club that did it, and then the following year we sent a team back here.
So the
And
exchange is that they come back with you here to the
Or a
state.
group from that club, not necessarily the same people that you stayed with, but a group from that club comes to visit your club.
right,
It's about a week.
In this
How
case,
long?
it's a district-wide thing.
right. And with the Croatia, you know, when you go visit Rotarians, they're going to take you to local places that tourists would not typically go to. So it's just a wonderful experience to be able to have that. And of course, when you're with a Rotarian, you know that you're going to be in good hands and that they're going to, you know, make sure that you have a good experience and have wonderful hospitality. So we will have the people from Croatia come visit us in May of next year when we have our district conference that'll be in Raleigh. We actually have the Dominican Republic group. You know, we go to the Dominican every year to help build latrines, and we stay in Rotarians' homes. They're actually coming to visit us. Susan, I think they said it's in September, maybe, but it's just a wonderful
Yeah,
opportunity.
September 21st, I think.
Yeah.
Do you need host families or people to host them? Is that
Yes.
okay?
Yes. So Rick Carnegie is the person. So I can send you some information on that. But yes, we will be looking for host families for that.
Okay, that'll be great. We can share it with the club. Thank you.
Right.
Can Shelby say where in Pakistan the group will go?
Um,
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know that.
We
I
can
don't
get
know. Yeah, we can send it to you.
Okay.
It begins with a C, but I don't remember the name of it. Yep.
It's time for one more quick question.
Yes.
Okay. It's about membership, and I think it's no secret that Rotary has always been known as populated by people who can afford the club, and it started out as sort of a businessman's club, and it's
Right.
grown into something that is, it's diverse, obviously, because it's across the world. Our the globe is the platform, so we're not worried about that kind of diversity. We're not worried about sex or gender diversity, but socioeconomic diversity. I wonder about that, whether there's any discussion, because a lot of people from the outside look at Rotary and say, oh, it's still a gentleman's club, a gentle ladies club now, but and we can't afford it. Now, none of us in the club, I can't speak for everybody, but we're not wealthy. And the E Club is a little bit cheaper than having the responsibility of going to a dinner or a breakfast every week. But we can afford the dues. Those people, but there must be people out there who might like to give their time, who like the mission of Rotary, but just don't want to spend the money that's required. They may not know that it doesn't cost tons of money if they do it the right way. Is there any thought about that? Has there been any discussion about that?
Definitely. And we need to share those stories to let people know that yes, you can join an expensive club where there are high dues at meet at a country club or something like that, but that there are clubs like the E Club or like the Raleigh Midtown Club that is just meeting at a hotel bar area, and that we aren't necessarily requiring weekly meetings anymore. So there are opportunities now, and we just need to share that and get that message out to people that there are clubs that are affordable, so that they can then be part of this organization. But we are working with that to try to let people know that. I know at the Carrie McGregor Rotary Club, we've had some guests come to us and they ask about the dues, and they're like, that's really too much for them. So we've been saying, hey, you want to check out the Raleigh Midtown town. Want to check out the E-Club. You want to check out, some of the smaller clubs that are not necessarily having meals. So we need to share that information with people so that they know that they don't have to spend a lot of money with dues or meals. And there's the flexibility now of being able to meet at different times, different days, that you don't have to meet every week. So Rotary International is being more flexible, and we need to make sure that we share that information with people to encourage them to join.
Thank you.
In other words, it's being left up to the individual clubs to do that PR.
That's right. Right.
International is not going to take it upon itself to ask the districts to do something sort of in a more communal way.
No, as with that little org chart that I was showing you, the Rotarians and the clubs are at the top. They're the ones that are making the decision. So Rotary International isn't going to dictate to us. They can provide resources for us and provide us with materials and tips. But as far as them, the clubs are autonomous, and it's up to the clubs to make that call and to share those stories.
Okay, thanks, Donna.
Yep, you're welcome.
Any last questions? Have any questions you want to share or comments? All right. Well, thank you, Richard. Thank you, everyone who's asked. I don't know, Donna, you want to go back to your...
Yep. If I could just quickly share with you, and Kathy was kind enough to kind of give out some of the information already in regards to, and for some reason, a new share. Maybe is that what I need to do?
Yeah, you're sharing.
Okay, we'll go this way. A couple of dates that wanted to talk about is, take the kid to the ball game. When I was president of my Rotary Club, we sponsored some kids to go to the ball game. And I got this sweet thank you note from the kids that went. They drew pictures and said how much fun they had at the ball games. I still have those today. But what really made the difference was when a couple years ago that I actually went to the ball game and got to see those kids having a fun time. That just, warmed my heart. So I thank you for participating in that Take the Kid to the Ball game. We've got the fall training and networking event. The focus is going to be on the Rotary Foundation at the Greenwood Forest Baptist Church. Kathy commented about the Global Run for Water. That is lots and lots of fun. So encourage you to come out and join that, whether you want to run a 5K or you want to carry water for a mile and compete against the other Rotary clubs. That's fun. On March 30th, that's going to be the Rotary Day with the Boys and Girls Home of Lake Waccamaw. They actually get to come to our district and spend like 2 weeks and visit different places. They visit lots of different Rotary clubs, and bless their hearts, they actually attended 2 meetings that I was presenting at. So, it's kind of tough for young people to probably sit through this. And one of the guys was kind of actually dozing off a bit. And when I got to the part about the Rotary Day and that we're coming to visit the boys and girls at Lake Waccamaw, we're going to have a picnic, we're going to have games, we're going to do things there. That fellow woke up and looked at me and he said, "You're coming to where I live?" And it was just shocking. And I was like, yes. Well, after the meeting, he came up to me and he said, "Now you're going to have to see this, and you're going to have to see this, and I'm going to show you this and that." And he was just thrilled. So if you have a chance to do that, that'll be a fun event. More information will be coming.
Donna?
Yes.
My understanding of Boys and Girls Home is very casual, but I know there's a Rotary a cottage there that we've been
Correct.
for a long time, but it's not a Rotary program as a whole. It's a youth home that is
Right.
But we have had a long-standing relationship. Is that about right?
That's correct. So we actually sponsor a cottage. So there are multiple cottages, and there's other civic groups that help support the Boys and Girls Home. But Rotary International, Rotary District 7710, has done a lot with this group. Owen Robinson, who's in my club, is very engaged and is on the board there. There's several Rotarians in District 7710 who have taken a personal interest in this group of young people. And so we do have a cottage where a group of them live. I've never seen it before, but I will go see it in March. But it's just wonderful for us to be able to do that. But, you know, these are kids that may come from abused homes. Maybe their parents were drug users, or maybe their parents didn't want them anymore. So they've had a rough life. And so for people to take an interest in them, it makes a big difference. So
Right, thank you.
Thank you for that. Yeah. And then May 3rd and 4th, that's going to be the district conference. It's going to be here local. It's going to be on the McKimmon Center at the NC State campus. Being a Carolina graduate, that's kind of hard for me, but Ramsey will be making an appearance. So we're going to have wonderful speakers and inspirational moments there, but we're going to have an art contest. So this is for kids, adults, your children, grandchildren, your neighbors' kids can. And like I said, adults, you and I can enter this, but it's of what Rotarians do. So just a simple drawing of what Rotarians do. Shafi, who was the past district governor, you're probably not going to be able to see this very well, but his granddaughter drew some pictures of helping the world, picking up trash, packaging food, and the little grandson drew a little picture of planting trees. And then I had a friend who was had his t-ball team sponsored, drew this picture. So you would just draw a picture and have a little caption on it, and then we're going to have a contest at the district conference. And we are also going to be collecting toiletries, which I have a few toiletries that I got, shampoos and conditioners and soaps that we will collect and then present to the USO. So we'll actually be sorting those toiletries, putting the shampoos together and the lotions together and separating them, and then we'll present them to the USO. So more to come. Information is going to be coming from the district newsletter. We encourage you to submit information to the district newsletter you see here coming, and tell your Rotary stories, because when we share, people want to be a part of that. I thank you for the opportunity to talk to you this evening. I thank you for sharing your time, treasures, and talents, and making a difference in our communities and in the world. And thank you for being the inspiration and for being my inspiration. I've had a lovely evening. So, Rhonda, I'll turn it back over to you. Hopefully I didn't go too long.
No, you were great. Thank you so much. Again, an honor and a pleasure to have you and Susan with us tonight. And thank you for sharing about our district. I think, again, those of us that are Rotarians need to be reminded, and some of us are new to Rotary need to maybe hear it more than once to get that understanding. So really appreciate what you've done, and the fact that you joined us. I mean, that's a really big deal for us in the E-Club. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to stop the recording.